Hiya, welcome to LSB Features Radio Channel, where our mission in life is keeping great radio from the past alive. And today we're going to New York City and Imus in the morning. Imus was a radio legend in New York, probably considered the first shock jock, getting to WNBC radio in New York in 1971, left for Cleveland for a couple years in the late 70s when he was brought back to WNBC. He was at WNBC right up to the end and actually hung around when the station flipped to Sports Radio 66 WFAN. Imus was their morning man, and he stayed there for many, many years until 2007 when he got into a little bit of an issue, lost his job, and then a few months later landed the morning show at 77 WABC, and Imus stayed there right up until he decided to retire in 2019. Now, there was a time there back in the 1990s when C-SPAN would bring its cameras and leave Washington and walk away from covering Congress. They would go to WFAN and broadcast Imus's show. I guess they got a lot of positive response because they wound up doing it several times. And I had a chance to record some of these shows when they were on C-SPAN. And in this, you get to see Imus doing the show, behind the scenes. And it's a fascinating watch because you get to see how quick Imus thought. The interaction between him and Charles McCord, and if you stepped on his wrong side during the show, you'd get to see the wrath of Imus live on TV. It was a fascinating watch. So let's go back to the 1990s with C-SPAN and Imus in the morning on 66 Sports Radio WFAN.
Marion Barry took the oath of office and is now officially the mayor of Washington, D.C.
God bless Marion Barry, my man.
The once and future mayor, him again.
That's exactly right.
And O.J. Simpson's lead lawyer, I-Man, Robert Shapiro, is disputing a newspaper report that he'd be bumped down to a secondary role in the case, with Johnny Cochran quarterbacking the courtroom strategy. Shapiro says he's still the man in charge, thank you. And in sports, Nebraska captures the national championship, finishing first in the Associated Press final college football poll out just a couple of hours ago.
Well, clearly we should have a playoff between, we're not going to devote a lot of time to this, but Penn State should play Nebraska next week.
No question.
They should play them the week between, isn't there 2 weeks between the Super Bowl? Why does this sound funny to me this morning?
It just does. Something's weird.
Funny. Yeah, it sounds very weird.
Do we have any fat engineers here to do anything?
We have nothing but fat engineers.
That's
quiet. They're sleeping.
In this particular case, it's a redundancy. Why does this sound funny? It sounds like an echo. Am I listening to air or am I listening to program?
Air so far.
There's a presence problem of some kind.
It sounds like everybody's off mic or something.
Mm-hmm.
The battery in your Miracle is going.
Well, get it straightened out. How hard is this?
Shut up.
You shut up, you bald-headed stooge.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, here's the day. Here's the day. Who's bald? Get the camera in here and we'll see who's bald.
Is that sound on that, Dick? Oh, okay.
Pardon me?
How are you, Dick? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And is he fat?
Oh, man.
Jesus, God.
He's straightening out the situation, though.
Not as fat as the young women dancing at the halftime at the Orange Bowl, but we'll get to that a little later here this morning.
It's another matter.
Al D'Amato's going to be on this morning, so is Tim Russert. Tim Russert's whining. Is that my understanding?
About what?
That we're taking advantage of him?
Taking advantage of him.
No.
That's what you told me.
No, he was kidding.
Well, we'll see whether he's kidding or not.
He may have not have been kidding. You're right.
He sent my wife and I a lovely wreath for Christmas, which is hanging in Fred's house in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Well, no, it is not.
In the basement. In the
closet. Imus in the morning news time, 3 minutes past the hour.
Hi, I'm talking to you from the Southern State Parkway on my cellular phone. You know, it's winter weather like this that makes me glad I have the security of Cellular One.
So,
and right now, you can get Cellular One service for $20.
Well, you ought to see you in the wedding pictures. I'm telling you.
What are you talking about?
You're fat.
That's just
Well, you are fat.
That's stupid. You're stupid.
You see, you now look at that. I see you holding your gut in now, but I'm just. Well, don't get upset about it. I mean, you're
I'm
fat.
not going to get upset. I'm not going to get upset. I'm going to get even.
The half the people in this country are fat, and you're one of them.
It's ridiculous. In particular,
CBS wanted to know if they could roll on us, credit us, of course, the Imus in the Morning program for Dole, Arme, and Adamant today.
CBS Radio?
CBS Radio.
For $24.99 a month.
As long as I credit the Imus in the Morning program.
Well, you tell them to fax me didn't they screw us last time?
Well, actually, they did not screw us last time.
Who screwed us?
Lots of people, man.
AP screwed us last time.
AP?
Okay.
Tell them the AP can have no permission to do anything.
You've spent a lifetime being screwed by various folks.
CBS Radio?
CBS Radio.
Yeah.
Beginning Monday, January 9th.
Oh, is that why, Craig, is there anything we want from them?
I steal stuff from them all the time.
Okay.
This work is being done to give you a smoother, safer ride in the future. The entire concrete ramp will be replaced in both directions.
Hey, Bernie.
Labor Day 1995.
Why can't I see?
While this work is going on,
You know, let me tell you something. I could get up every morning at 10 o'clock.
Easily. Which is not a problem.
I got up at 10 o'clock yesterday morning. I stay up all night. Just the
How much
first
did
day.
you sleep last night? Did you sleep last night all right?
I took some of those Tylenol PM deals.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, and of course my wife woke me up.
Your wife? It's just I can't get used to this. I can't get used to this. I'm sorry.
In the
This is
meantime,
just-
they ask for your patience. This special traffic report has been brought to
I'm
you by
telling you.
MTA Bridges and Tunnels.
My friends, Megadiddles, it is I, Rush Limbaugh, talent on loan from God. And now for talent on loan from Wolfman Jack, none more of the Imus in the Morning program.
Have mercy, baby. Imus in the Morning News Time, 5 minutes past the hour here in New York City. Today is January 3rd, isn't it?
Yep.
1995, and the revolution starts tomorrow.
That's it, baby.
Basically, our insanity.
Yeah.
So I got a call on my message service from Bernard. Al D'Amato's going to be on this morning.
Yeah.
Tim Russert, Bob Dole, and Dick Armey. And Bernard says, well, shouldn't we have some Democrats on?
Huh?
Well, so first of all, we have Tim Russert on.
What was I thinking about?
Yeah, what were you thinking about?
There you go.
That's number one. But number two, why would we want to have any Democrats on?
Any losers.
Yeah, I'm never going to speak to either Bill Clinton or Joe Lieberman or any of them again. Or John Kerry. Forget him.
A Democrat?
God, don't be ridiculous.
Why?
Sorry.
Although, of course, I still support the president.
I understand
I
that.
like him a great deal.
Yeah.
I may be the only one.
Why are your eyes rolling?
Well, they're not rolling.
Okay.
I think they finally figured all that out. So what did I read in all of the papers when I got back from New Mexico? That Paul Begala and James Carville and Mandy Grunwald and all of them their influence has been, in the word of the Washington Post and some others, diminished.
What?
Whoa.
Is that whose wagon we've hitched our star to or whatever? These losers, Paul Begala and James Carville, they have no influence anymore?
Unhitch that wagon.
Juiceless? No.
You don't tell me. How about Susan Thomas's? Is she still
Out.
she's out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Well, yeah,
She's
but
part
I
of the
mean, how
problem.
did this happen? How did we hook ourselves to all of these losers?
Just an error in judgment,
Yeah.
I man.
Boy, a huge error in judgment. Well, at least we've still got Bob Dole, thank God, the next president of the United States. If I have anything to do with it. Well, I mean, it's not going to be Phil Graham, is it?
I don't know.
You want a lube job?
If you...
Yeah, I'll lube that thing for you. How about a wash? I want some hot wax for that? All right, it's time for the news. 7 after the hour here in New York. And here with all that stuff, by the way,
What?
God's Other Son, my idiotic novel, as I've seen it described, is still on the bestseller list all over the country.
You're kidding
After
me.
about 2 months now, but I'm done selling it, so I don't care whether you buy it or not. No, I don't need you.
Yeah.
I've already sold enough.
You've
So.
proven the point. It's over.
And I have begun the Imus Diary, which you'll never see.
Yeah.
But I wrote an essay on the 1st of January, about the halftime show at the Orange Bowl, which we'll talk about here coming up.
That could be a
Jesus,
little
God
ugly.
almighty. Are there enough fat teenagers in Florida? What is up with that?
I don't know.
You know, you think you look fat in the wedding pictures, man.
And don't wear spandex.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
crying
a fat teenager in Florida, don't put on a spandex deal and then dance in front of 90 million people.
Do that XXX flour sack thing.
God, get out of here. All right, it's time for the news. What's going on?
Manhunt is underway this morning, I-Man, in South Florida for 5 killers who tunneled their way out of prison. The escapees, all people from Cuba. were serving life sentences for first-degree murder. John Townsend, superintendent of the Glades Correctional Institution in Belglade, says the men are extremely dangerous.
Well, I like that.
Well, they're murderers, of course.
I know that, but it does show some initiative.
Tunneling out?
Yeah. Well, doesn't it?
I guess it does.
Who did they murder? They're from Cuba, right?
Yeah, they're Cuba.
Well, who did they murder?
Well, perhaps fellow Cubans. I don't know. The 5 escaped just as the inmates were being called in from the prison yard yesterday evening. Prison guards opened fire on the escapees after some electronic alarms went off, but nobody knows whether any of the men were hit. And a 22-year-old New England man will be arraigned this morning in Norfolk, Virginia, for allegedly spraying an abortion clinic with gunfire. John Salvi also faces charges in Massachusetts for the murder of 2 receptionists at 2 abortion clinics there. President Clinton has ordered a federal security crackdown at abortion clinics, and Attorney General Reno will be meeting with law enforcement officials about taking additional security measures at abortion clinics. Abortion rights activist Mary Lou Greenberg blames the Right to Life movement for inciting violence in Massachusetts and elsewhere around the country.
All of these people are to blame, and the blood of these women and the other people who were shot in Brookline is on your hands.
Attorney General Reno says the safety of employees and patients at abortion clinics cannot be guaranteed.
That wasn't Attorney General Reno, was it?
That was Mary Lou Greenberg, who's an abortion rights activist blaming the Right to Life movement for the violence that has occurred around the country. But no, it was not Attorney General Reno.
What are those sores on your arm?
This one right here?
Yeah.
This is a place where I jabbed myself with I was cutting open a cardboard box, and somehow jabbed myself with like an X-Acto knife. Deep. Hurt myself.
Why don't you hire people to do that stuff and give somebody a job in this country?
It's a very good work fair.
Yeah.
Certainly, we could put a welfare recipient to work cutting boxes at the McCord House.
I don't like that with youth. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Can I get some coffee in here?
Sure.
Please? Lou? Why are you wearing glasses, Lou? What's that all about?
I'd like to see you better this year, that's all.
Al D'Amato, Tim Russett, Bob Dole, and Dick Armey. Why did we book all these people today? What was that all about? So Dick Armey, we've never talked to him. I understand he has the potential to be nuts. So we can
looks like it.
We can goad him into saying something horrible about the president.
Yeah.
And we can goad Al into saying something horrible about... Hey, let me tell you something. When Howard Stern has a better seat at the governor's inauguration than does Rudy Giuliani, the mayor of New York's got some problem. And as David Hinckley pointed out in this morning's New York Daily News, Howard Stern behaved better than the mayor's kid did at his inauguration. Remember little Andrew Giuliani?
Yes, I do. How can I forget?
Hey, Fred.
Yeah.
We didn't get that headband deal.
You didn't?
No. Where did you send it to? One Astor?
Yeah. You didn't get it?
No.
Read his lips. He said he didn't get it.
Don't leave my brother alone, Bernard.
You didn't get it?
Stooge.
Bob's the one who sent it.
Well, fire Bob.
Well, don't. If I get down to the shop, it's over for him.
Well, no, I don't even think you need to do that, but how are you?
I'm fine.
Where are you, at home?
I'm home. I was in the shower. I heard the phone ring and got out of the shower.
Well, I don't know about that.
Wait a minute. Fred Imus in a shower?
Right in a shower.
I can't imagine
I want to be clean.
Yeah.
I want to be clean for my appearance.
Where are you appearing?
I'm going to be on here pretty soon.
Oh, on C-SPAN?
Yeah.
Well, that's right. They're supposed to be here this morning, aren't they?
The third, yeah.
Have they shown up yet?
Well, yeah, they're down at the shop.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. I'm watching you on TV now.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Notice I'm wearing one of your T-shirts?
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah.
I guess the C-SPAN brought that, had to bring that wide angle there to the studio, huh?
From McCord?
Yeah. Jesus, is he fatter now?
Here's the thing about McCord. He doesn't really, he thinks he's not fat.
I'm not fat.
And,
hey, do they have a monitor there? Look at the monitor.
Turn around and look at the monitor.
Sakes.
Oh, I look great.
You can't,
Did he forget where the gym was?
Oh, you look. See, here's the thing. You're holding your gut in now, Chuck. Now let me tell you what
he
the deal.
Can't hold that gut in.
That looks good.
But you know what the deal is?
What's the deal?
Well, I have these candid wedding pictures that Deidre's mother took.
Yeah.
And. But you're fat.
And Charles is only in part of it.
I'll call you back later, Fred.
All right.
13 after the hour here in New York. Well, let's do the news here. It's supposed to be doing the news.
Say hallelujah, I man. Washington, D.C. has a new mayor this morning.
My man.
I'm Marion S. Barry Jr. I'm Marion S. Barry Jr. do solemnly swear to faithfully execute the office of Mayor of the District of Columbia
He thanked the people of Washington, D.C. for giving him a second chance.
I was invited to his inauguration, except I don't show up at any of those things. How lame was it of that twerp geek Howard Stern to show up at George Patel? I mean,
it can't get lamer.
You can't. I mean, you
No.
can, what a pathetic.
What's he going to be, commissioner of white trash in New York?
Jesus, God Almighty, what a loser! I mean, honest to God,
hook-nosed
just
dirtbag.
just a Tiny Tim looking, Joey Ramone looking loser.
Just horrible.
But I mean, wasn't that just weak?
God
wasn't it?
Almighty, get
I was embarrassed for him and for the mayor of New York, who I never intend to speak to. Don't have to speak to.
No.
So.
Why would you?
Well, yeah, why would we?
Come on.
Hey, Howard, stand up straight.
I am standing straight.
Jesus, what a... Oh, go ahead.
Barry compared himself to the biblical prophet Nehemiah. It was 4 years ago that Marion Barry left office in disgrace after being caught on a pipe in a D.C. hotel room.
Everybody's had a problem, you know. I mean, being caught on the pipe, what is that supposed to mean?
Well, you know.
He of course, obviously, Jay Stevens, a humongous entrapment deal. He was caught on the pipe. I understand that, but
on
I mean,
TV.
we've talked to the mayor, and everybody deserves this. We've been through this.
He deserves a second chance, and he's getting it.
He's getting it.
All right, we'll see what he do with it. That's all.
He'll be fine.
Besides, the bitch set him up.
You know, we don't need that kind of language here.
That's a quote.
Oh, that's right.
That is a quote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He says all of that is behind him now, and it's upward and onward and upward from this point.
Well,
President Clinton is back on his home turf. The president and first family. That's not Washington, D.C., by the way.
Where would that be?
That's back in Little Rock, Arkansas this morning. They held a reception for old friends last night. The president dedicates the William Jefferson Clinton Elementary School just outside Little Rock tomorrow. Says he's happy to be back home.
We're looking forward just to spending some personal time visiting with our friends,
saying
hello to people, driving around the state a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm even going to have a few hours tomorrow where I have nothing on the schedule for the first time in years and years.
Going through Webb's safe.
Dodging Webb Hubble.
Hey, where's that letter I got from the president?
Probably in the trash at this point.
I might have put it in the shredder. I have to show you that. This begging me to cut him some slack. And I'm the only one in the country who defends him.
This is where his slack gets cut, is right here.
He's even off of Richard Cohen.
I know. Boy, I tell you.
That lackey.
The president,
that's a little strong.
Mr. Clinton returns to the White House tomorrow, I-Man, just in time for the Republicans to take control of the 104th Congress.
Time to pack.
He's got to meet the moving
all those
van.
Boxes and stuff ready. He'll be fine.
No, you really.
But, you know, man, I mean, you know, I've heard, George Will said this. A lot can happen in a day in politics.
Oh, certainly.
Marion Barry could come back.
Absolutely. I think Marion Barry should serve as an inspiration to Bill Clinton, frankly.
In more ways than one.
He already has.
That will be fine. I'm not going to tolerate any of this in this new year.
I'm sorry. Okay.
All right, fine, go ahead.
Incoming House Speaker Newt Gingrich has some words of warning for Democrats once the GOP does take over the situation tomorrow. In an interview broadcast on C-SPAN yesterday, Gingrich warned the Democrats against being simply the party that just says no. The Georgia Republican predicting the GOP will make some mistakes, trying to make the contract with America the law of the land.
I thought the contract was with I did think it was with America, not with HarperCollins.
Saw the light there pretty fast.
Man, let me tell you, he's never going to, I mean, having had some experience with book publishers, of course, Simon & Schuster primarily, but if you don't get the money in front, you're never going to get the money.
Well, he got it in front. A dollar.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's what he'll get out of it. A new USA Today Gallup poll found that more people see incoming Senate Majority Leader Bob Dole as the genuine leader of the GOP and not Mr. Gingrich. 69% of those surveyed for this poll see Senator Dole as the leader of the Republicans. Only 14% say they see Gingrich in that role. 54% approve of the way Senator Dole has handled the transition of power. 31% approve of the way Gingrich has handled that task. O.J. Simpson's lead lawyer says he's still quarterbacking the defense team. Yesterday's New York Daily News reported that Robert Shapiro would be bumped down, though, to the second string once the Simpson murder case goes to trial.
When does it go to trial? When does this thing start? What do we have, 6 to 8 weeks now? DNA hearings?
About that, yeah.
And whether we're going to allow into evidence this history of domestic violence in Mr. Simpson's life?
Yep.
Well, they obviously going to let the DNA stuff in, right? Do you care anything about this now at this point?
No. It is so... no. I mean, just...
Clearly he did it, right? Well, of course he did it.
He should be Jeffrey Dahmer in prison.
There's blood all over everything. so if they let that in, then he's out of here, right?
I would think so, man.
Or if I'm just...
No, you're not. No, not at all.
Yeah, so that's the end of that song.
The New York Daily News said Simpson wants attorney Johnny Cochran to take over from Shapiro. But after a meeting between the lawyers and Simpson at the county jail, Shapiro said he will remain in charge of the overall team until the case is concluded.
There are no changes in anyone's role regarding the defense of O.J. Simpson. We all have signed on to do a job, an important job, to defend a man who has been wrongfully accused.
The News reported yesterday that Cochran and F. Lee Bailey would play the prominent roles once the Simpson case winds up in the courtroom.
This is a New York tabloid reporting this?
This is the New York Daily News.
Yeah.
It's a legitimate tabloid.
Well,
O.J. reportedly displeased with Shapiro's grandstanding. Some gag gifts he handed out to reporters covering the case also reportedly did not meet with O.J.'s approval, man.
Well, I have one goal this year, and that's to get David Hinckley a job at either the New York Times or the Washington Post.
Yes.
And get out of there.
See ya, Daily News.
David Hinckley is this extraordinarily gifted writer here in New York, who doesn't always write nice things about me, but that's fine. But he works for the New York Daily News, and I don't get it.
No. He's far above
Same
that.
with Dennis Hamill. What's he doing there?
I don't know.
I just don't get any of
There's
this.
no explanation for it. I'm sorry.
I hate to be hammering the New York Daily News, but they're just...
they're there.
It's just not happening. Is it?
No, it's not.
Although they're actually pretty good to me, aren't they?
They've been very, very fine to the man.
Did you see me on the cover of the TV thing? That's interesting.
No, I didn't.
Not only do I not have a television show, I don't want one. There I am on the cover of their TV magazine. It's a pretty good picture, isn't it?
Look at that photograph.
Yeah.
Almost lifelike.
You know,
that's
no, it looks good.
That's
actually.
Clint Eastwood.
What is that, Lear's magazine?
Stephanie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. Could you get me some coffee, please, or I'll fire you?
Yeah.
Those are your options.
Can you fire interns?
Of course you can.
Absolutely.
You can do what you want to do.
So last night, the Florida State Seminoles beat the Florida Gators, and so Fat Bobby Bowden won, and I was happy about that.
Yep.
I obviously didn't see it. Penn State beat the Oregon Ducks.
Can people named Ducks win anything?
No, well, they shouldn't be able to. And Nebraska's #1 according to the polls this morning, right?
Yep.
Both polls, or
an Associated Press poll and a poll in USA Today, the CNN coaches poll. Those are the polls that are out so far.
Does UPI still exist except in the guise of Helen Thomas?
Just in our memories, man.
I love Helen Thomas, by the way. Don't you?
Hot item.
She's not a hot item. She's 155 years old. But but she is.
She looks like Yasser Arafat with a wig on. Good Lord. Retire.
And Mary McGrory, I love her with those Swifty Lazar sunglasses. What is that all about? I'm back to us, Mary. All right, it's 22 after the hour here in New York. Senator Alphonse D'Amato, who probably hasn't slept in about a week, just chomping at the bit to turn on those Klieg lights and get some Arkansas weasels squirming. Yeah. Man, I mean, can he stand it?
No.
And one of our favorites, Tim Russert. Is Greenfield on this morning?
Negative.
Greenfield's on too much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Greenfield, ABC News, who absolutely is our all-time #1 guest.
But overexposed.
Yeah. And Tim Russert, the Washington Bureau Chief for NBC News and a host of Meet the Press will be on. He's complaining about that we're taking advantage of him by putting him on the most influential morning radio program in America with about 10 million listeners. That's how we're taking advantage of him.
So he can be seen and heard?
So somebody can see him. God. I'm lucky he's not going to be here in person because I could get violent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And also Senator Robert Dole, the new majority leader in the Senate, and Dick Armey, the majority whip in the House, a man whom we have never spoken with.
Yeah.
But he does have the potential to say inappropriate things about a number of people.
Sure.
Hopefully we can goad him into doing that this morning.
What about you?
Also coming up this morning, Rush Limbaugh and Ross Perot and Richard Nixon and some Delbert McClinton, and Fred Imus is in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and at the Auto Body Express.
Yeah.
He's my brother, and we'll talk to him. All that coming up.
Great.
He came into the world from the right side of town, Georgia boy who was big and round, and his mom and dad thought they were being cute. Because even though he was their pride and joy, they christened him unlike all the other boys. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Newt. He dedicated his life to the GOP. Wanted to be speaker since the age of 3, dreaming one day he'd wield power absolute. He's a guy who spends a lot of time in the fridge, and it's no wonder he wants to bring back the orphanage. You would too if your parents named you Newt. He learned how to add and how to divide, married his math teacher and multiplied, but when he went to subtract himself as a matter of course, it was slimy and low rent, the media said, to visit his wife in her hospital bed to get her to grade his paper for a divorce. Well, it may be because he hails from the South, but he's got a little problem controlling his mouth, making statements that the media thinks are crude. Sometimes he pushes the envelope, like saying everybody at the White House is smoking dope, but he don't mean no harm. That's just old Newt. When he went to D.C., Mr. Gingrich swore someday he'd be there on the Capitol floor, chucking out liberals with a big self-satisfied sneer. And it took almost half a century to get Republicans back in the majority. But when it happened, he said, "My name is Newt. How do you do? All you commies out of here." All you atheists had better beware. School children's heads will now be bowed in prayer, beseeching the Lord to get rid of the poor and the queers. Because Newt and his Republican protégés are going to fix this country in just 100 days. I'm so proud of him, I'm on the verge of tears. If I had only one life to live, I'd still do it all as a conservative. But if I ever have a son, I think I'm going to name him Bob or Jesse, anything but Newt.
Rush Limbaugh here in the Imus Morning program, and a boy named Newt.
Imus in the morning. Only Maxon Auto Group has triple holiday savings. First, buy any brand new Pontiac, Honda, Hyundai, Mazda, GMC truck or Buick in Maxon's 2,000 car available inventory with absolutely no money down. Second, buy now and pay.
Is this a moo-moo? Hey, this is the first one of the new year and the first one that I've witnessed of the marriage. This is great.
Hi, baby.
Oh, God, it is a moo-moo.
What's the matter?
On Route 22, West New Jersey. Call 1-800-YES-MAXON for no money down.
Hello.
Payments till April. $4,000 for your trade. Maxon.
I'm fine. How are you? I do. Did you fall asleep?
With bad credit, you can get a new car today. Just call this toll-free number, and your credit application will be accepted and processed.
Yeah, we got it. It looks funny, though.
1-800.
I'll call you back, honey. I love you.
Yes.
You making fun of me calling my wife?
I said it's the first one of the new year and the first one that I have heard of the new marriage. Quite an event for the Chuckster.
Gee, this guy Tony from Lynchburg is on the phone. He's been on before, and he wants to thank you for the jacket that he went off you on that bed with Ollie North.
Oh, okay. Well, he predicted North wouldn't win. Is that the deal?
Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you a couple of these bits. The Nixon thing is dead.
That's correct.
Liz Smith is dead.
That is correct.
Perot, Professor Elders is dead.
That is correct.
Okay.
The Beavis and Bubba's you can use.
Both of them?
Yes.
Smells Like Christmas obviously is dead. That's a Nirvana thing, right?
That's correct.
That is dead. I don't mean that. I'm very sorry.
Idiot.
I don't know what's wrong. It's just death is part of life. And the Cronkite on Clinton.
Dead.
Now Rush's thing, the trouble, that's still good, isn't it?
That's fine.
But have you listened to it lately? Does it make any? Was that pre-election or post-election? Or does it make any difference?
It doesn't make a difference. We played it after the election.
Oh, we did? Okay. All right, let's do Breen out of this. Do we have traffic?
Yes.
Why?
Not everybody takes a limo to work, that's why.
Oh, okay. So how are you, sweetie?
Just fine, darling.
How are your kids?
They're great.
We still remember their names.
Lauren and Jeffrey. Oh.
You named their daughter after the cheerleader you used to go out with, right?
That's correct.
Although we almost
My wife is good friends with her.
We need a tote board to keep track of the cheerleaders you've gone out with.
Well, you should try Sequestat throat lozenges.
So, well, I like being married. I mean, I've been...
Well, that's good here. A weekend.
No, but I mean, you know.
That's a positive way to approach it, since you are married now.
But it was
unbelievably.
You know. All right, 6:30 in New York. Time for the Dynex Mobile Fan Highway Patrol. And here with all that stuff is Lori McNichol. Good morning, Lori.
Good morning, Iman. This report is brought to you by your New York Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Here's 10 seconds of savings from your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Plymouth's Neon is one of the best values on the road today. Sedan or the new coupe, see the saving values available at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. If you're traveling in the Bronx, use caution southbound on the New England Thruway. There are reports of numerous blowouts between the City Line and the Huts that due to some debris in the roadway, which is steel. In Manhattan, southbound on the West Side Highway, you've got a stall in the process of being cleared from the right lane at 125th Street. Now, the roads are very icy this morning, so use caution, especially on bridges and exit ramps. They usually freeze over before the roadways do. And eastbound on the LIE at 108th Street, the right lane will remain closed all morning due to a hazardous icing conditions. And in Passaic County, westbound on Route 46, the ramps are completely iced over due to Lower Notch Road and Browerton Road. That's in Little Falls. Only minor delays at the Holland and Lincoln. I'm Lori McNichol for the night.
Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports rolls on.
The nightmare has begun for a Villanova grad. Good morning. This is Mike.
Oh, wait a minute.
The wedding between Don Imus and Deidre Coleman went off as scheduled. The couple now married for well over 2 weeks. Mrs. Imus was asked how she enjoyed the honeymoon.
It was fun.
The bliss continues for them this morning. In sports, Nebraska wins the national title. The win over Miami in the Auto Body Express Orange Bowl gave them a 13-0 record. And today, the USA Today CNN Coaches Poll and AP both have Nebraska #1 and Penn State #2.
I guess that's pretty good for Tom Osborne, right? Or is it?
That's
or do
correct.
We care?
Yeah, we know. We're happy for
we're interested.
Penn State finished second.
I felt bad for the quarterback from Miami, though.
Why?
The Prozac head case.
Boy, no kidding.
Got bummed out and drove to Orlando last time he lost. Get a job as a limo driver then.
Or just Disney World.
Yeah, stop whining.
Penn State finished second despite winning the Auto Body Express Rose Bowl. Nittany Lions head coach Del Paterno felt good for Nebraska coach Tom Osborne.
I wanted them to win a national championship. I obviously didn't want him to win at the expense of our squad. It wouldn't make that much difference to me for him to get one and I not get one. If I've had a couple.
Sounds like he's had more than
Come back to us, Joe. God almighty, get Joe Paterno and Leon Spinks together, and Michael Dokes. Honest to God, come back to us.
In other bowl action, Fat Bobby Bowden won. Florida State stopped Florida 23-17, and squirrely little Lou Holt's team got whacked. Notre Dame gets annihilated by Colorado 41-24. Was not even that close. Colorado's Heisman Trophy winner, running back Rashaan Salam, announced afterwards he's leaving school early to apply for the NFL draft.
I decided,
Me and my mom was talking.
And off he goes.
My mom. What about that Rhodes Scholarship?
You know, we don't need it. So that's just not funny. How is that funny?
What about that Professor Salam in the future?
You know, Jesus God Almighty.
What about that thesis, Mr. Salam?
That will be fine. We just don't need any of that. So,
and from the NHL, there were no games last night on the schedule.
Speaking of fat people, Don Shula is now so fat. The coach of the Miami Dolphins is so fat he needs a golf cart to get up and down the sidelines. I mean, what is that all about?
I don't know.
He just gave up, I
More
guess.
Florida fat people, period.
Is that what Bill Parcells is going to go to now, a golf cart?
Yes, I believe so.
On the Patriots sidelines?
Yeah.
Nice job in Cleveland, they did. What was that all about?
Browns on their way to the Super Bowl.
The Browns are going nowhere. The Browns have to go to Pittsburgh, and that's the end of their season.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's over.
It's over once they go to Pittsburgh.
Do you remember back in early in the season when we were still in Cleveland? And I said the Browns would go to the Super Bowl? Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, I do, but I mean, they're not going to go there and play.
Bank on it.
How many times? They played Pittsburgh twice this season, right?
Yeah.
How many times?
Yeah.
They didn't do too well.
Did they beat them either time?
How do I know?
There's spoons and there's saucers and dirt on the floor.
Good morning. Good morning, Rochester.
Oh, good morning, boss. Did you have a nice night?
Oh, pretty good, Rochester. But as you know, I had a difficult time falling asleep. I counted 3,000 sheep.
3,020 to be exact.
Was it that many?
Yeah, and boss, tonight when you go to bed, why don't you take a little pill?
No, Rochester. I prefer to count sheep.
I know, but I feel so silly putting on that white coat and jumping back and forth over your bedpost.
Have you opened up your credit card statement for the month yet? That can make anyone a little nervous, babies. If you have trouble organizing your monthly bills, there's an amazing, easy little software program called Quicken, Quicken, that can make your life a whole lot happier. It can change your life, in fact. Quicken eliminates the pain of dealing with your finances. Quicken makes finance planning painless because it shows you where your money goes and exactly how much you have left. And for a lot of folks, that means now you can do things that you've always wanted, like leave.
Just get out.
Just get the hell out of there.
Simplify, baby.
Take that vacation. Send them apes to college.
Sure.
You ain't going to be a bit surprised when you find out that Quicken is the best-selling personal finance software in the world. Quicken, Quicken. They help you manage your money better, baby, so you can achieve them dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You can try Quicken for this limited-time offer, $9.95, which it seems like we had last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well,
So.
the sale continues.
Yes, it does.
1-800-553-EASY, E-A-S-Y.
Imus! The world was created in 6 days. But it takes 7 to forget about it. At the Acapulco Princess, we make vacations, and they take a full 7 days. So for a limited time, we invite you to spend 7 days at one of the world's top...
Take the guy from Lynchburg.
For only $157 per person per night.
What's that hillbilly, right?
Breakfast and dinner. You would enjoy
Phil Graham's campaign manager.
7 days of golf and 3 challenging 18-hole courses. 7 days of tennis. Care for a dip in the pool? You can just about swim in a different one every day. And of course, these 7 days also come with enchanted nights. So call
Is there anything to talk about this wedding? I mean,
for the price of 5.
there's not much to talk about because it went well. It's a problem.
The Acapulco Princess.
Flawlessly.
Wow.
Mexico. The heart of your
Talk about Gladys taking that bottle out there.
Princess Hotels International Incorporated.
Well, that wouldn't get her in any trouble, would it?
I don't know. That might not be a. That might not be a good. I mean, no, I don't think it would, but I just don't know if it's.
Focus on the East Coast, where we thought we could be at any of our stations within a couple of hours. We call it the Metroliner strategy.
His partner, Jim Thompson, president and CEO.
Yesterday,
well,
to be in Washington, D.C. And I got the train in New York City. Got our special little cafe car where we have the table, which we pretty much use as our office.
Where we sit and face each other, eyeball to eyeball, and brainstorm about things.
Where is Brian Lamb? Is he in Santa Fe? Or is he here?
I mean, obviously,
I believe he's in
air shuttle is...
Washington,
Oh, he is? Well, no, it's something. I don't care.
You go through the aggravating...
Nobody cares.
You get there. You finally go on the plane. Hopefully it takes off.
We've seen people stuck in Washington where I say, take the train with us. Amtrak's Metro.
Number 7 publishes weekly this week.
You know what? It's going to snow tomorrow.
That, you said that's actually up?
Smarter shuttle.
Was that one up?
I wonder how Santa comes
Well, you know, the thing is, it got up to 9 publishes weekly, then it went to 15, then it went back to 10, and now it's up to 7.
I don't
The Big Devil
understand.
Hand Vac's powerful section lifts soot clean out of the carpet. It's revolving.
I have written an essay I have to have you take a look at.
Big Devil Hand Vac's extra long cord makes it a
About these sniveling little nitwits who reviewed this thing for why, I have no idea.
Back on your gift list.
And we're talking about how it's you know,
Secret Service agent takes over the president.
that it really didn't plow any new ground, and
It's so stupid. They don't get it.
you know, it was written in 1978. Well, I can't help that.
Nothing more revealing about how little somebody can get a circumstance, you know.
All of history, all in one place. Call your local
The guy from Lynchburg. Hi, I'm Imus in the morning. It's 21 minutes till the hour here in New York City. I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Well, I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, at Fred's house. Me and my wife, Mrs. Hank Snow.
Yes.
That's the way I introduce her to people.
I understand.
Well, that's the way I did introduce her to people. Now she explained to me she didn't think that was that amusing.
Mm-hmm.
Kinky Friedman, I love Kinky Friedman, who I predict will have a best-selling book this year. He's already written about 7 novels. He's with Simon & Schuster now. He's got a new one coming out, I think, The Love Song of J. Edgar Hoover, I believe is the name of it.
I like that.
You see, The Love Song of J. Edgar Hoover or God Bless John Wayne. It's one of them. It doesn't make any difference.
Okay. It's kinky, sure.
Well, it's like poor old Louis Grizzard. Once you got past the title, that was pretty much it. But with kinky, there's
some substance.
Not that there wasn't with Mr. Grizzard.
It's just mad.
Why just start hammering dead people here this morning? I mean, it's just, what's the point?
The new, kinder, gentler I-Man.
So I stopped by KRZY, which is our affiliate there in Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Jane? Get Jane in here.
Right away.
Jane Metzler, who used to work in Albuquerque. She was a big TV anchor woman there.
Yeah.
And then there was some hideous, horrible... come on, what's the matter?
What's not the matter?
Why is he shaking?
How are you?
I'm fine.
What's that thing you gave me and my wife, Mrs. Hank Snow?
Oh, Mrs. Hank Snow, yeah. It's an Indian wedding vase that my friend made out in...
Well, it looks to me like one of those cheesy wedding vases that you can buy at any curio shop on a reservation. It's
no,
not your...
my friend Nev Eckerman made it, and she's a Laguna Pueblo Indian.
Oh, she is?
Yes, she
Hey,
is.
what kind of Indians are in Taos?
Taos Pueblo Indians.
That's the name of the tribe?
Yes.
We went there Christmas Day, me and my wife, Mrs. Hank Snow.
Yes. That's going to go down well, yeah.
Me and my wife, Deidre Coleman, we went to, with Fred Imus. And they have, at your suggestion, by the way, we go to the Taos Pueblo, the old Pueblo.
Uh-huh.
And they have these Indian dances.
Right, the buffalo dance.
The buffalo dance, yeah.
Right.
And they all wear these deer skin and buffalo skins. And they wear the deer head, and then they have the entire skin and everything. They'll still attach to, that.
It's attractive. Yeah.
It's nice.
It's a good look.
It is a good look.
And so I say to Fred, is this Christmas or Halloween?
Yeah. Don't tell Bridget Bardot about this.
And so Fred gets upset with me. And then they've got, and the Indians are all the young Indians are so whacked out on peyote. Their eyes look like mine used to look.
Right.
Frankly.
I know the look.
Yeah. And so Deidre says, and there's several hundred people there watching this, all these precious Taos yuppies.
Yeah.
And northern New Mexico yuppie scum are all watching the Indian dance. And Deidre turns to me and she said, "This is gross. Let's get out of here." And so people are turning around. So what is that all about?
Well, Christmas Eve is actually more fun and kind of bizarre. I couldn't believe it the first time I saw it. They run through the streets of Taos with a statue of the Virgin Mary and the baby Jesus and shoot guns off. And I thought that was kind of an interesting image.
Are the Indians into Jesus?
Kind of, yeah. It's their own version of Catholicism.
They're whacked out. They don't care.
See, that's another thing. They've all destroyed the Indian heritage there. You see more Lutheran than Presbyterian churches. We were married.
I know.
By a Navajo Presbyterian minister.
And a lovely man.
It's kind of a Jesus peyote mix.
Is it? So I stopped by KRZY there in Albuquerque.
Yes.
Cindy Weiner's not a lesbian.
I know she's not.
Well, yeah, now you know she's not because I told you. But I mean, what was this thing you did?
She's married.
Well, I know that, but...
it's a beard.
Not that it would matter, by the way. But it would matter to some people on the program, but it doesn't matter to me. But I didn't know why you would say those things about her.
Actually, you're the one that said...
I never said anything. I'd never met the woman. How would I know?
You called her a lesbian. I said I didn't know.
Well, you may make it sound as though that I use it in a pejorative sense.
No. Oh, no. And
why, that would make me homophobic.
Certainly. No. There's no pejorative involved there.
Not at all. No, and in New Mexico, it's a lesbian-friendly state.
I met Tony Lynn.
Yeah.
God, Tony, have a salad.
Really?
Tony Lynn does a morning show where?
At KRST, actually.
Some other station there, right?
Yes, it's their FM station.
He came in to meet me, He was on vacation. He drove all the way in from wherever he lives.
How nice.
Los Alamos or someplace up there by the bomb factory.
Yeah, that was nice of him, yeah.
So, well, why did I call you in here? I have something. There's nothing going on, is there?
No, hammer her, boss. Come on.
I don't want to hammer her. So how
you
are
want
you?
to make me cry on
I don't want to
television.
make you cry. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
You're a big deal in New Mexico. Are you aware of that?
No.
Oh, man. I mean, my brother even thinks you're a big deal.
It's a major player.
But people think you're you were a huge deal there. I watched the local news people in Albuquerque. They can't suck enough. They cannot suck enough. So are you going back there? Would you ever?
Visit?
No, would you ever go back and do television there?
Probably not.
Yeah, you would. 150 grand, you'd be back there in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
I'm having too much fun here.
Get out. There's a... just get out. Well, that's the end of it. Just get out.
You've served your purpose.
It's a 15 to the hour here in New York, and I am Imus this morning. Altamont, Tim Russert, Senator Bob Dole, and Congressman Dick Armey are all coming up this morning, plus Rush Limbaugh and Ross Perot and Richard Nixon and some Beavis and Bubba and Fred Imus from Santa Fe, New Mexico, plus some Delbert McClinton. So it's all happening.
Stop.
There's an 800 number that you can call me from any place in America where you can hear me, from San Diego to these places in Rhode Island, wherever else we're on, Vermont and so on. And it's, I don't know what it is. It's 1-800
schmuck.
It's 1-800-370 IMUS, I-M-U-S.
Yes.
Mike in Lynchburg. Good morning, Mike.
Tony,
whoever.
some goober. Who cares?
Morning, man.
It's, Tony's entire family has actually seen Elvis. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
How are you?
Congratulations on your nuptials there, dude.
Phil Graham's campaign manager.
That's it.
Mike from Lynchburg.
You can call me Mike if that's my job.
Okay, what do you want?
I just wanted to thank you. You remember I bet you on the election there between Rob and North, I bet you America's jacket.
Oh, one of Fred's jackets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, is that, I'm watching you on TV, is that Billy Taylor back there in the corner?
Who's in? No, that's not. I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, that guy right there.
No.
I wanted to thank you for the
I brought him back from some Taos.
Is that right? That's Pueblo Indian.
Yeah, he's working on a casino deal there in the Taos Pueblo.
He's pickled.
Saving for college,
a
bigger home.
This is the third stop set.
Maybe you'd even like to retire early. Is your money growing fast enough to help you get there? Maybe it's time to talk about investment services at Chase Manhattan. A licensed investment specialist will listen to your goals and help you select from a wide range of investments, like mutual funds, tax-advantaged investments, and IRAs. Stop by or call 1-800-CHASE to arrange a free consultation. Now, one of the best ways to reach your goals is to reach Chase. Chase Manhattan. Profit from experience.
You're the one that puts you Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. You try to read them afterward.
Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer unaffiliated with Chase. Member SIPC. Investments are not FDIC insured and are not guaranteed by or obligations of Chase.
Well, it's Angela, my secretary.
Mr. Flathers.
What are you doing here in first class?
Business trip.
I don't recall sending you on any corporate mission, Angela.
Oh, well, it's my own little venture, so...
Excuse me, ma'am. Here's your tea.
Oh, thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like?
Well, I'd like a closer look at that beautiful valley down there with all the yellow flowers.
You got it.
Oh, but only if it's not too much trouble.
Huh? Angela, what's going on?
Folks, we're gonna go get a closer look at that beautiful valley down there with all the yellow flowers.
What?
So, buckle up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and if you like the peach pie, you can tell our new owner sitting back there with you in 3G. She, made it herself.
You're gonna fly them. Isn't just the highway. G46 isn't just the airline. Bingham coming to New York lottery agent.
The holiday season is upon us. Snow is on the way, the aroma of home cooking fills the air, and your utility costs continue to rise, creating an even bigger chill. Curlin Securities can help take away that chill and bring a warm, relaxed feeling to your holidays. Curlin Securities is offering Lilco bonds, you know, the Long Island Lighting Company. Right now, these bonds have a high 10% yield to maturity and send you an income check every 6 months. Now, that's a switch because... isn't it better to get a check from utility than sending them one? These bonds are for approximately 10 years and are non-callable to go along with their 10% return. Regardless of where you live, get to the phone. Call Curlin Securities now and take the chill out of your bones and put a warm smile on. Call now, 1-800-899-9400. That's 1-800-899-9400. The yield is 10% and it's available now. Bonds subject to availability, change in price, and market fluctuation. Investor may receive more or less if sold prior to maturity. Member NASD, SIPC. Call now, 1-800-899-9400.
We're here in Lawton, Oklahoma, home to the biggest Goodyear tire plant in the world. You've never seen an assembly line like this. The best tires on the road. Tires with Goodyear written all over them.
Cutting off the assembly line by thousands. And now, all these Goodyear tires are on sale at participating Goodyear retailers all across America.
We can't have this blowing out, can we?
Those Goodyear Wranglers and Goodyear Aquadreds are all on sale now. But hurry, sale ends January 21st. Credit terms available.
Sounds as it was.
Is there a Washington Post anywhere here?
Yes, I have one. What would you like to see?
Have Jane bring me in a set of papers.
I got a Washington Post right here.
I'm going to see the other.
What do you want?
Give me a Beavis and Bubba out of her, okay?
Prefer nearly 2 to 1. This baby's off to dreamland. Rush relief with Alka-Seltzer Plus nighttime. Use only as directed.
9 minutes till the hour in New York, and I am Imus in the morning. Here's Laurie McNichol now with the 9X Mobile Fan Highway Patrol. Good morning, Laurie.
Good morning, I'm Ann. This report is brought to you by... I'm good. How are you? Congratulations. Welcome back.
Congratulations on what?
Your wedding.
Oh, thank you,
You
very
did
much. Yeah, well, there was some doubt, I guess, that I would do it, right?
A great deal of doubt, I-Man.
Charles and my brother Fred and four-legged Fred I had 3 best men. The dog was actually in the wedding. So.
I love that.
Yeah. How was what?
How was what? Did you dance at your wedding at the Navajo Band?
Well, see, I don't dance.
No.
There wasn't a first dance? Did you pick a special song?
By the way, Richard Cohen is on the op-ed page of this morning's Washington Post. I haven't read it yet, defending Newt Gingrich's book deal. What a surprise, Rich. We don't have any time for traffic, Laurie.
No, I guess we don't.
Is everything else all right with you?
Everything's good.
Okay.
Everything's excellent.
I'm Imus in the morning. 9 minutes till the hour now here in New York City.
Hey, Bubba, this sucks. Let's get out of here.
Shut up, Beavis. Imus and Deirdre are about to exchange vows.
This sucks. I'm freezing.
Show some respect, Beavis. Marriage is one of the most sacred institutions known to man.
I always knew Imus would end up in an institution.
1994 certainly was the year of the celebrity marriage.
Yeah, like Richard Gere and Cindy Crawford, Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie.
I still can't believe they split up.
I guess she didn't want to share the bed with his monkey.
Tom Arnold and Roseanne.
He didn't want to share his bed with a gorilla.
Boy, that Deirdre sure looks beautiful, doesn't she?
Don't get any ideas, Bubba. Imus would, kill you.
I don't think so. Although Bo Dietl and the Mongos might mess me up.
Yeah. They'd, kick-a-tize your acetation.
Well, maybe I could get somebody to smack Imus on the knee with a pie.
Yeah. Or maybe you could, get somebody to cut his wiener off.
Maybe I could get him to do a Kurt Cobain.
Nah, he's too much of a wuss to do something like that.
Well, I'm going back to the hotel room, Beavis.
You can't. Fred's in there.
Doing what?
Selling wedding edition T-shirts to the Indians.
Miss Coleman, you make my knees knock.
Imus in the morning. 2020 Sports.
Hands off, straight ahead, Schlesinger. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska wins the national title. Good morning. This is Mike Breen with sports. The great Don Crickey with the call of Nebraska's win in the Auto Body Express Orange Bowl Sunday night. And this morning, both the Associated Press and the coaches poll have Nebraska number 1 and Penn State, despite being undefeated, number 2. Penn State finishes with yesterday's win in the Rose Bowl.
You just seem like you're very sure of what's going on here.
I'm not sure. I've been away for a while.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, didn't you have a half an hour to prepare
Give
this?
me time to acclimate myself.
All right, fine. Go ahead.
Nittany Lions quarterback Kerry Collins says it's just not fair.
We did all we had to do. Went 11-0.
Why'd you do that? Because I'm not interested in hearing from some whining loser.
Yeah, he didn't do enough.
Maybe
he didn't do enough. He didn't do enough to win. I mean, they won, but they didn't, whatever.
They didn't win well enough.
They didn't win the national championship. No. Nebraska did. Let's move on.
Don't you like to hear from our student athletes? Hi, man. While you were away, firings happened in the NFL. Denver let go head coach Wade Phillips after that team failed to make the playoffs.
What a surprise.
But Phillips took it well.
I would be really worried if they only fired bad coaches. But they fire good coaches, too.
Unfortunately, he was not one of them.
No, they fire fat coaches. How do they fire fat losers? That's what they fire.
Boring ones.
Boring fat losers.
And in an Imus in the Morning exclusive, we've learned that Hank Stram will be named the new coach of the Broncos by the end of the week. And
Marion Barry lookalike Hank Stram. God almighty. Hank, come back to us.
And the Knicks yesterday, decimated by injuries, have signed a free agent as a backup center, Greg Kite, 33-year-old big stiff, who's played with just about every team in the NBA in the last 11 years and hasn't been good for any one of them.
Man, Bill Russell's still alive. Why don't you grab him?
How about Havlicek?
George Mikan is around.
Isn't Bob Cousy still around? Huh? God almighty. Tim Russert and Bob Dole and Dick Armey and Senator Alphonse D'Amato shortly after the 7 o'clock hour here in New York City. I don't know what time it is where you are, but whatever. Don't worry about it.
No,
God,
they're coming up.
It just doesn't make any difference. Senator D'Amato will be on in about 15 minutes.
Okay. I
continue to be not only loyal to the president, but to Senator D'Amato, and always will be to Senator D'Amato. Because
you'll have your knees broken.
That's right. You'll be under the
good. Boardwalk. We start the new year off with a mob reference with respect to Senator Alphonse D'Amato. That's probably appropriate.
Imus in the morning.
You've each been chosen because you're the best. This is a big operation with big risks and big rewards, but it's very different than anything you've ever done before.
So, Lou, do you know that? So they have a line feed, right? So they're getting all that stuff that's on the. Okay.
And third, you've got to bluff your way in and then out again. And if you're caught, it's on the spot. Execute.
I've seen the way they do some of these, like Jim Bohannon.
Yes.
To assassinate Saddam Hussein.
Jim Bohannon is fine. By the way.
No one would dare attempt it until now. Shadow over Babylon.
He has Hedrick Smith. We called Rich for some reason. Which obviously must be the name he answered. And who's the fat guy I like? Used to be with the Washington Post, but I can't.
I don't know.
Fat guy with glasses, smart guy. I can't. Can think of his name.
William Raspberry?
Huh?
William Raspberry?
No.
Another
white guy. I like William Raspberry. He's a...
If you're one of the 3 people who guessed the right amount of any of the cars, you're off to Miami for the expense paid trip to Super Bowl 29.
There's no purchase necessary. For more details, keep
my brother Fred. The C-SPAN bus is out there in the parking lot.
They only paid $3 for a set of our holiday pictures, and they gave me 2 cents.
Oh, Lordy.
They gave me 2 cents. We gave them 2 cents, and we'll give you 2 cents.
So the ball and chain says we look good, Chuck.
Really?
To Kmart. They'll develop it and give you 3x5-inch double prints.
Oh, here. On that top right.
Oh, look, a picture of the twins opening their presents.
Hey, are you imitating me?
Hey, are you imitating
Make the I-Man happy.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I'm listening.
I'm not listening.
Dr.
Makes C-SPAN happy.
Independent doctor of optometry at LensCrafters. I've been an eye doctor for 40 years. I've been affiliated with LensCrafters for about 6 years.
What is this thing about Gingrich you gave me? And I was going to read this Richard Cohen thing, but I just don't have time to read it.
Oh, they're talking about how when you're dealing with a publisher, just get the money up front. Same thing you were saying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That Reagan got a $7 million deal, and no one bought the book.
LensCrafters, helping people see better, 1 hour at a time. We're here in Lawton.
And new degrees to $1 and royalties, and he isn't going to get anything.
You've never seen an assembly line like this. The best tires on the road.
Well, Richard Cohen suggested there was nothing ethically wrong with Newt Gingrich accepting $4.5 million from HarperCollins.
Well,
did you read William Sapphire yesterday?
No, I didn't. I guess technically
we'll go with Mr. Sapphire. Well, he was Sapphire's right. I mean, I guess he's right. Well, what difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference, does it? It's just pointless. Why are these phones all ringing? This is not a talk show. I'm not interested in talking to these people.
Don't they get the deal?
Tell them to stop calling me. Call Fred and go buy a book.
Ask for garlic bread garlic. It's odor-free and tasteless.
You know who I like is this Doris Kearns something. I saw her with book notes.
Man, you've got to get a life.
If you're watching book notes, you don't have no life.
Jeez. I mean, enough.
Something's just not right. The breadcrumbs are suspect. There's no evidence of the herbs and spices you love so much. And then your family tastes.
So, I don't want to talk to these people too long, you know.
There's no substitute